It's NFL Draft Week here on Sports Grid, and that means for Bill Bender, it's time to dive in over at Sporting News to make sure he's constantly changing his draft board based on what he's seeing in the ether, as they say out there. We got a lot going on right now, Bill. Thanks for coming on Newswire. Really appreciate it. And let's start off with the top three picks in the draft. We definitely know who's going number one. We're not so sure at number two or three. And that's really the story of a 2026 draft that seems like there's a lot of trades on deck. Do you think, Bill, that we could get a trade with a team moving up to two or a team even moving up to three?
Well, I think Fernando Mendoza is the open and shut pick at number one for the Raiders, unless there's something that drastic happens in the next 72 hours. And then Arvell Reese is a logical next pick. Now, if we get to Jeremiyah Love at three and the Cardinals really want to do this, and we have to sort out, you called it ether, it's the smokescreen week, right? Where we have to sort out the smog almost with how much that comes up this week. But if the Cardinals were able to go or were wanting to go Jeremiah number three, you're getting this electric running back. It's going to spark a lot of conversations, but they really have to believe that they're getting a Christian McCaffrey or a Jahmyr Gibbs type running back with that pick. I think he's really good, but I think in the right situation, like Love could go for 1,500 yards for the Chiefs next year, all purpose, but I don't know if he could do that for the Cardinals.
And I think that's really the key here. And, some teams are going to look at Ashton Genty, who was drafted last year, didn't make a big impact with the Raiders, but I think just Love is generational type running back at that position. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Cardinals took him or even if somebody moved up to get him. Meanwhile, the story over the weekend with Dexter Lawrence leaving New York and going to Cincinnati is the Giants have the 5 pick and they have the 10 pick in the draft. And, certainly in the past, Bill, they've upgraded that offensive line. I know they want to take care of Jackson Dart next season, and he's probably got to take care of himself a little bit. What do you think the 5th pick and the 10th pick look like for New York?
Well, it depends on how much of a splash they want to make. You look at some mocks this morning, and it's Jeremiyah Love at 5 and Caleb Downs at 10. And if they do that, New York will be a buzz the entire draft week, right? Because you get that running back, then you get Caleb Downs, who I firmly believe is the safest pick in this draft. And you might say, well, he's a safety. What are you talking about? Well, John Harbaugh likes safeties, doesn't he? I mean, the Ravens had Ed Reed way back in the day, and then Kyle Hamilton. Then you get Caleb Downs, somebody who doesn't allow much in coverage, sure tackler, one of the smartest players in the draft. And then on top of that, if they can't get Jeremiyah Love, maybe they go Spencer Fano. I think he's another super safe pick in this draft, the Utah tackle that didn't allow a sack, dominant run blocker, complete player in every way. And I think those are the two guys that you would look at.
And Downs, by the way, his draft position right now on FanDuel 9.5, and the under is minus 140. So it would appear that he ain't going to get outside that top 10, but certainly we'll see. Let's get to another wide receiver in the draft, maybe the first one taken, Bill. That's Carnell Tate, who you know very well from Ohio State. What a fit this would be for Cleveland if they brought this kid home, so to speak. His draft position is 7.5, but FanDuel is telling us, Bill, that this is a wild card draft here. I mean, look at the numbers: over minus 125, under minus 105. It could go either way.
No, the only thing preventing the Browns from doing that is if for some reason they trade down. And like you said, this could be a first round where we see a lot of trades. So Carnell Tate on the surface, yeah, that's the pick. The Browns last year, Jerry Jeudy had 50 receptions out of the receivers. He was their leading receiver in catches. You have to go all the way down. The next best guy had 21. 21 on an NFL team. I think Carnell Tate, he could have covered that in less than a month at Ohio State. He's an excellent route runner. Next off the pipeline that has produced Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Jackson Smith and Jigba, you name it. And Jeremiah Smith next year, by the way, he might not be too bad. So I think Carnell Tate's another, what I would say, safe pick. You get somebody that's going to produce at that position. And then the Browns with that second first round pick could probably look at offensive line later in the draft.
All right, so finally, let's take a look at one of the quarterbacks in the draft, and it's not going to be the first one taken. That's going to be Fernando Mendoza. The odds are is that Ty Simpson may be the second quarterback picked in the draft, and he may be the second one, and then we got to wait a long time. That's potentially there too. What do you make of FanDuel setting these odds for Arizona at minus 200? That seems a little too thick for me. Like, couldn't another team take him, let him sit for a year? I love this idea, by the way, that I've heard that you see there plus 550 of the Rams taking him, letting him sit behind Stafford potentially for a year and then making him the quarterback of the future. I think this is wide open. Why is Arizona minus 200 here?
Well, because they might go into the first round and get him, and we see this every year, Craig. Whether it's it ranges from Will Levis to Lamar Jackson to everything in between, where Lamar shouldn't have been a conversation. He was an awesome quarterback in college, but Will Levis teams will take him early in the second round, go into the first half or the back half of the first round and grab a quarterback like that. But I think Ty Simpson will end up in Arizona. I really do. I just a matter of when they do it. And to your point about the Rams, it comes down to do they like Ty Simpson or do they like another
Yeah,
potential day
that's
two
true.
guy in Garrett Nussmeier? I like Garrett Nussmeier if he's healthy to go to the Rams, and that's the type of quarterback you get into. Then you get into the run of Carson Beck. Where's he going to land? I think maybe Miami Dolphins in your neighborhood might be a good fit for him. He stays close to home and is able to develop as a backup. Now, whether they do that a year after taking Quinn Ewers, we'll see.
Seems like they want to at least give Ewers a chance to be the backup there, Bill. But beyond those quarterbacks that you mentioned, who else should we be watching for? And I'm not talking about round 6 and 7. It's sort of ridiculous at that point. Those guys generally don't make it or don't get a chance to play. Do you have it like quarterback wise in that order, where Mendoza goes first, Simpson is the second, and then Beck is the third? Or I'm sorry, Nussmeyer the third, Beck the fourth. I feel like someone will go ahead of Beck. No, am I wrong about that?
Yeah, and if it is, it might be a guy like Luke Altmyer. He's one of my favorite day three guys in this draft. He pitches well in that 10 to 19 intermediate range. He was great for Illinois. Program record in 2 year span of victories. And, if not Beck, I think a guy like him or a sleeper like Cole Payton out of North Dakota State that a lot of people like here late. But it is a mix and match at that point. But I'm fairly confident Mendoza, Simpson, Nussmeier, and I even think Diego Pavia may find a home in the sixth or seventh round. We have him going to the Panthers.
Thing could be the next Taysom Hill in the NFL. Who knows? All right, Bill. Should be a fun night. Enjoy all of your coverage here on Sporting News and certainly here on Newswire. We'll catch up again after the draft to get your thoughts. Thanks again.
I appreciate it, Craig. Thank